The Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 3, The Yoga of Action. Arjuna said, "If you consider the path of knowledge to be better than the path of action, why do you urge me to engage in this awesome endeavor? With words that seem to me to be contradictory, you confuse my intelligence. Tell me clearly, what should I do to attain the highest good?" Krishna answered, "A twofold way of devoted life has been taught by me since ancient times. The path of knowledge for contemplative devotees, and the path of right action for practitioners of yoga. Not by abstaining from actions does one awaken to that freedom which is beyond karma, nor by renunciation alone does one realize perfection. No one can remain even for a moment without doing some kind of work. Every being is caused to act by impulses innate to its nature. One whose mind is deluded, who sits to meditate, forcibly restraining the organs of action while continuing to mentally dwell on objects of the senses, is said to be hypocritical, a person of false conduct. But that devotee who mentally controls the senses and without attachment to the results of practice engages the organs of action in the yoga of action is superior. Do the work that is your duty, for this kind of action is better than non-action. Even the maintenance of your body cannot be accomplished without necessary action. Except for work performed for the purpose of sacrifice, this world is in bondage to causative work. Therefore, do perform your actions for the purpose of sacrifice, remaining free from attachments. Having created humankind along with sacrifice, the Lord of creatures said, "By this sacrificial actions may you bring forth, may this bring unto you the fulfillment of your just desires. By this sacrificial actions, may you nourish the gods, and may the gods nourish you. By nourishing each other, you shall attain to the highest good. Nourished by sacrifice, the gods will indeed give you the enjoyment you desire. One who enjoys these gifts without offering them in return is a thief. The good devotees who eat and absorb the remainder of the sacrifice are released from all misfortune. The wicked, egocentric, mentally perverted, who endeavor to nourish only themselves, consume their own ignorance. Beings exist because of food and nourishment. Food is produced by rain. Rain is produced by sacrifice, and sacrifice is produced by work or actions. Know that the principle of causation, karma, originates in the field of God, and the field of God emanates from the imperishable, the field of absolute pure consciousness. Therefore, the all-pervading reality is present in sacrificial actions. That one who does not, in this world, help to turn the wheel of causation, thus set in motion from the beginning of world manifestation, lives maliciously, sensually, and in vain. For that devotee whose delight is only in self-knowledge, whose satisfaction is in self-knowledge, and who is content in self-knowledge only, there is no further work to be done. Similarly, for such a devotee, there is nothing more to be gained in this world by actions performed in the past or by those left undone. There is no further dependence upon other beings or sources of causation. Therefore, without attachment to actions or their results, perform always the work and duty that is essential for the highest good results by doing work, performing constructive actions without attachment. It was by right works and actions alone that ancient kings like Janaka realized perfection. You should perform right actions for the maintenance of the world. Whatever a great, accomplished, respected, therefore influential person does, others will emulate. For me, there is nothing whatever to be done in the three worlds, nor is there anything to be accomplished which has not been accomplished, yet I am engaged in action. For if I did not engage in tireless action, humankind would follow my example. If I should cease from actions, these worlds would perish, and I would be the cause of the confusion and destruction of the people. As the unlearned perform work attached to their deeds, because they are being true to their conditioned nature, so wise people should work without attachment to maintain the realm of nature. Let not the person of knowledge unsettle the minds of those who are attached to their actions. The wise should inspire others to enjoy right actions while themselves performing disciplined actions. Actions of all kinds are performed by the qualities, gunas, of nature. A person whose mind is confused by egoism, deluded self-sense, mistakenly thinks, "I am the doer." That devotee who knows the truth about the two roles, of the self which is removed from involvement, and of the qualities, gunas, which produce actions, and understands that it is the qualities which interact, is not attached to their actions. Those who are deluded by the qualities, gunas of nature, are attached to those actions. One with higher knowledge should not disturb the minds of people whose knowledge is incomplete. Surrendering all actions in me, established in self-knowledge, being free from desire and egoism, delivered from your confusion, engage in right endeavor. Faith-filled devotees who steadfastly practice this teaching are released from the bondage of actions. But distrustful and disrespectful people who do not practice this teaching know them to be confused about wisdom, lost, and devoid of reason. One acts according to one's own nature. Even the wise do so. When people follow their own material nature, what can attempts at restraint accomplish? Attachment and aversion to objects are seated in the senses. One should not come under the power of these two tendencies, for they are indeed opposed to the soul's well-being. Better is one's own duty, dharma, though imperfectly performed, than the duty of another performed well. Better is defeat in one's own duty, for to follow another's path is to invite difficulty. Arjuna asked, by what influence is a person impelled to commit error, as if by a force contrary to personal will? Krishna replied, it is desire and anger born of rajas guna, all-consuming and greatly injurious. Know this to be the enemy of good intentions and of attempts at right endeavor. As fire is obscured by smoke, as a mirror by dust, as the embryo is enveloped by a membrane, so the intellect is obscured by passion. The knowledge even of the wise is obscured by the adversary, insatiable desire, O Arjuna. The senses, the mind, and intelligence are said to be the abode of desire, which veils wisdom and deludes the embodied being. Therefore control your senses and banish this destroyer of discrimination and wisdom. The senses, some say, are superior. In truth, superior to the senses is the mind. Superior to the mind is the power of intellect, and superior to the intellect is the self. Thus, knowing that which is superior to the intellect, sustaining, steadying self-consciousness by self-knowledge, eliminate the obstacle of insistent desire that is often so difficult to overcome. In the Upanishad of the Bhagavad Gita, the science of the Absolute, the scripture of yoga, and the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna, thus ends the third chapter, entitled Karma Yoga, the Yoga of Action.